Hello.
Good evening.
Hi there, Monique.
Hey, Monique.
Hello, everyone.
Evening.
Hi.
Hi there.
And yet I'm seeing Jeff as a call-in. Do you have that? Great, everybody. I am seeing a quorum. Nanette, can you please call the roll for the Springfield Technical Community College Board of Trustees regular meeting, Monday, April 25th, 2022?
Yes, Mary Kate Murin,
Present.
Janae McDonald,
Present.
Elizabeth Esposito,
Present.
Monique Seldom Riley,
Present.
Maurice Lindsay, Samalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Jordan,
Present.
Jeff Sattler,
Present.
and Max Starks.
Present.
So we have 7. We have a
Yep.
quorum. Thank you.
Do. Wonderful. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of the trustee meeting of March 28th, 2022?
Madam Chair, so moved.
Thank you. Do I hear-
Second.
Great, Betty, I got you. Discussion. Hearing none, Nanette, would you please take the roll to approve the meeting minutes of the trustee meeting of March 28th, 2022?
Yes, Mary Kate Murin,
Yes.
Janae McDonald,
Yes.
Elizabeth Esposito,
Yes.
Monique Seldom Riley,
Yes.
Maurice Lindsay, Samalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Jordan,
Yes.
Jeff Sattler,
Yes.
and Max Starks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. I think we're going right into Dr. Cook with you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, trustees. Again, appreciate the time as always tonight. We thought we would invert the order just a little bit, given some of the motions and sort of density within our minutes, to have a chance to sort of pull some of them forward and have a little bit easier Q&A and conversation at the top end. So you'll see 4 items. Let me just digress for a quick minute and give mention to the news I shared around cabinet members today via email. You'll see that we've had a CIO, a Chief Information Officer, who also carried the title Assistant Vice President. So Mary Kozlowskis has been just incredible, and so much of the work that goes on behind the scenes. As we've expanded, certainly with our cybersecurity work and emergency preparedness, you'll see that Mary was promoted to, she's still the CIO, but she is now Vice President. Today is actually her birthday, so she's not joining us, but we're really thrilled about that promotion. Also with us, Dr. Shea Butler, who has been here 10 months, but seems certainly longer than that, who has most certainly demonstrated her contributions as well. So we have pulled interim off of her, and she's duly appointed as a Vice President, in this case for Advancement and External Affairs. Congratulations, Dr. Butler. Again, just wanted to point those 2 promotions out to our Board of Trustees. Really appreciate it. Digging into the items there again, you'll see in the deck just some prompting. I'm not going to go through all of those, but I just wanted to pull out a little bit. For program discontinuation, again, you'll see a motion that comes via the Committee on Internal External Relations. Obviously, we'll get to that when we get to that, including the minutes, and Trustee McDonald in her role as the chair. There's been a lot of thought, a lot of consideration into these two programs, biomedical engineering technology and biotechnology. A very good faith effort, including marketing dollars to help relaunch them. The enrollment just is not there. We had administratively suspended enrollment, again, in conversations with internal, external, and now tonight we come in front of the full board for discontinuation. I just wanted to be sure that there was any and all conversation around those actions, and happy to see if there are questions or conversations from trustees.
Yeah, Dr. Cook, this is Mac. So question on the how the amounts were calculated, and maybe I can kind of take that offline with someone, but I'd like to better understand the impacts. So I'm looking at there's references to net with dedicated full-time faculty, and then you pull out some of the costs and the numbers don't seem to flow. So if I could have a call after this call to get more comfortable with how the numbers are flowing. But I do recognize the reduced enrollment. That's not an issue. That was very clear. But some of the numbers there, I just want to get my head around a little better.
Yeah, Mac, let me definitely pick that up with you. Again, for everyone, the question, certainly internal, external was really focused on the programmatic aspect, of course, the student experience. And when you're teaching classes that are averaging 4 or 5 students in them, that's not a sustainable way. And that's really the bulk of what the decision-making is based on, if you will. The question was also asked, Trustee Starks, around, well, what if any is the financial impact? And we wanted to show, in a $50 million budget, this is still modest. Nevertheless, we have to attend to the experience. We wanted to try to capture some of the key elements, including this idea of if we could have hired a full-time faculty member, and that's where you see this sort of net effort. Take biomedical engineering technology, everyone, for example. We had gone to search to try to hire for that. We were unsuccessful. Again, it's a really, really niche area. So again, if you broke out that faculty position, the dollars are very small. If we had actually been fortunate enough to hire somebody, you could see what the dollars look like. Again, Mac, happy to talk separately around that approach to it.
Yeah, thank you. Like I said, I mean, when you go through the detail, I mean, the fact that the enrollment is low and has been low and foreseeable, let's continue to be low. I get the rationale for discontinuing the program, but again, I just want to get my arms around the costs. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Again, we didn't want to sort of push this within the confines of a motion, everyone. So again, happy to take any questions or comments around the program actions tonight. I will share in this STCC way, everyone. This is not, pulling the rug out from the current students, small number that they are. We do what's called a teach out. And because of the part-timeness of our students, it's likely we will have students in these programs for at least the next year, still providing them with a pathway to their degree. So just please know this isn't like folding up shop and they go away. We are working with the current students. And that's what's so difficult about these kind of decisions is when they get so low, we still want to do well by the existing students. So there will be a teach out that gives them a pathway to completion.
That was going to be one of my questions. Yeah. So.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Okay, again, happy to pick that up. Oh, sorry, Monique. Yep.
How would you handle it if there is a student or two who might have taken a little longer to complete the program, but they're in the program and something might have come up or something like that, but like on a individual basis? How would you handle that?
Yeah, I forget if one of these has 7 students and maybe one has 11. In some ways, Trustee Selden Riley, these are 7 and 11 individual conversations with students. We want to essentially re-engage and build a plan of action for them. Like I said, we don't want to pull the rug out from underneath them. And again, we are very appreciative of the part-time aspect of our students' approach to this. So we're going to work with them individually. Even in the case of biotechnology, one of the artful things that internal external heard about was this almost merging of biotechnology into the biology transfer pathway. So even again, for those who are thinking about this is an area they want to stay with, they might already decide to essentially internally transfer to biology transfer. And again, we're going to have those conversations with each student.
Thank you.
I'll keep moving forward, but again, happy to pick this up when we get down to the minutes and the motion itself. With building 20 and school health, I mean, it's hard. I'm glad I'm sitting down. As I shared with everyone earlier, I think I'm still gliding a little bit from this. This was one of those calls you just did not expect to get, because we thought it was going to be May and June, and then all of a sudden the Secretary of Education is calling you in April, and you're like, what happened? What happened? But again, it's shockingly incredible news for us. It really put some wind in our sails for strategic planning, which I'm going to talk a little bit about. These are the types of things that really can help change our college. And in this case, we've talked about building 20 so long, and the challenges have been so significant to really have a pathway forward. I cannot be more, as I said, thrilled for our faculty, for our students, for our college. So let me just add some amazing news on top of that. So the governor filed last week an economic development bill. That $5 million beyond this that we've been talking about, that the legislative delegation had put in the 2021 economic development bill, those $5 million was in the governor's bill. So I just want to stay with that for a second. So as if it weren't great enough that the executive branch through DCAM has truly and duly awarded $30 million for this project, that $5 million is looking like it's rounding into form as well, because what that means, the translation is, it's likely that the other $5 million will be bonded. So again, really big deal. It shows the level of investment and commitment from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for this. Again, I could not be more thrilled for everyone. Thank you, trustees. Your commitment, that $6 million really moved the needle. People really paid attention when you put that kind of commitment formally on the table. So really our thanks to you as well. Happy to take any questions.
Not a question, but just, thanks to you, Dr. Cook, to all the trustees, community, and all the administration. This is going to have huge impact on our students. Bottom line, that's why we're all on this call and give our time, because the impact this is going to have is just going to be so exciting. So just want to thank everyone. So if anyone we have to send thank you cards, just let us know, Dr. Cook, right? I think there's probably a couple out in the Boston area, but really, really exciting news for the college and for the students. So thank you so much.
I appreciate that. To that, everyone, we are going to do our best to get some or part of administration, whether we can get the governor, the lieutenant governor, the secretary of education, the commissioner of DCAM. We're going to try to have our own event, not quite a groundbreaking, since we have one of the buildings already on campus at least, but we want to do something ideally this spring. We'll have the trustees, we'll have our legislative delegation, we'll invite the School of Health faculty and students. Again, we want to do it justice here and somehow in person. So look for that as well. Great, thank you. We'll be talking about that for the next 2 years as we build this project out. Thank you, everybody. Item C, budget preparation. So speaking of budgets, again, just a note, the Ways and Means Committee has certainly been working and doing their diligence on prepping. You will have seen, again, I just wanted to call out, given how much time and diligence has been invested by college administrators and really broad engagement across the college. And what you have in your packet is the second draft. I note it here because we really are on good footing to ensure that Ways and Means next month comes with a balanced budget, and that we in May do seek, and we are likely to seek from the full board, that approval for the budget for fiscal year 2023. We're in decent shape. My appreciation to Andrea Nathanson, our CFO, and her team with administration and finance. Again, we have definitely worked and sought to address and try to contain expenses. We're listening most certainly to our trustees and encouragement around revenue. At the last meeting, Trustee Starks was asking around the assumption around a 3% decline. And Mac, again, we're really sharpening the pencil and will likely in our final draft land at a -5% enrollment decline. Appreciate that encouragement, the idea of really being conservative. There's so many unknowns, particularly with enrollment, everybody. So again, just a note to say, we really, as much as there has been complexities and complications and uncertainty, we're in good shape for a budget for your approval next month. Happy to take any questions. Again, we'll get to the minutes piece, but I wanted to be sure if there are any other questions, process or otherwise, happy to take them now.
No questions. Again, just a comment. It's nice to see the progression in the budget. Where we started. I think it was 1.2 million was the first. We had that gap. We got it down to like 300,000 when we last met. And or 800,000 when we last met. Now we're at 300,000. So I mean, it's a good progress. I also like the fact that we're strongly considering the -5. To your point, we just don't know. But I'd rather be more conservative, than aggressive. So I appreciate that and good work to all.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to echo that, Trustee Starks. Thank you and your committee to really kind of push in the administration. So I appreciate your time and effort in there. It's not the fun part, right? Though that's your expertise, you're the SME. So really appreciate you jumping in and what you're doing for the college.
Thank you. And the final note, so again, a call out to strategic planning and that external outlook. So this past Friday, we had an all college town hall. Campus Works is the consultant that came through the RFP process. Again, I will say from my professional perspective, I'm really excited about the capacity from our consultancy and the impact that they've already had. They really are comprehensive and thorough. They made a significant impact, not only at the town hall, but then the strategic planning task force that we have launched. It's a group of 30 co-led by Dr. Shea Butler and faculty member Eileen Cusick. It really has put us on amazing footing. I wanted to just call out, and again, we'll share some of the decks that they've already distributed and shared with college. I want to also note that Secretary and Trustee Alexa Exposito is the trustee liaison to that process. Thank you, Betty, for serving in that capacity. We'll most certainly keep the board up to date, and we'll utilize internal, external for probably a number of those conversations. But I just want to note some of the things that Campus Works, again, is already sharing that they'll be digging into. This idea of sort of a future look and exploring the big questions for the college. As they're prompting us, again, at a town hall, what are the societal, economic, demographic, and technology trends that will most significantly shape modern higher education landscape in the future of STCC? What's the role of today's modern community college as a catalyst for change and an engine for social mobility, equity, and economic prosperity? How can we be deliberate and focused in what we do, retaining our flexibility, though, to proactively respond to the rapid pace and unpredictability of change? So again, Campus Works is game for having those conversations, facilitating that look beyond the confines of STCC. And again, I think that stands us in good stead. So very excited about the launch. We've got all of this year. We've given ourselves essentially permission to use next year as well to get the plan that we need. It will come in front of you ultimately for your approval. It will also in tandem then go in front of the Board of Higher Education for Massachusetts for their endorsement. We will absolutely attend to those processes, everyone. But again, happy to take any questions around strategic planning.
No question, Dr. Cook, but really an important process, right up there with governance. So really looking forward. And Betty, thank you so much for jumping in again. So we're looking forward to that progress and see where we land. There'll be a lot with the other good news that you just gave us about the 30 million plus. Hopefully we're counting on that extra 5. A lot of good work to be going through. So thank you.
For sure. Already 2022 is shaping up to be a really, really solid year. It's certainly an important year, everyone. So that's my perspective. I appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much. So Trustee McDonald, you had a internal and external relations committee meeting on April 4th. So can you give us a little bit of a highlight of that meeting, and then we'll take a motion on the minutes.
Okay, thank you, Madam Chair. So the shared governance conversation continues. We had an update from Dr. Eduardo Marti where he described a governance model where we will be looking to establish a governance working group comprised of trustees and students, cabinet members, deans, AUC reps, and also union members. And so there'll be a series of meetings that have already been taking place and that will continue to take place through May to work to provide more clarity to this model. And Dr. Marti will prepare a report for all the constituents, including a presentation to trustees, hopefully for the June meeting. We also received an update from Dr. Vanessa Hill on the Developmental Math Fellowship, where supports are being built out. That'll include some tech needs, professional development for faculty, manuals, and YouTube videos. And Dr. Hill's also started making connections with the Springfield Public Schools, middle school and high school teachers. And then finally, we had a continuation of conversation with Dr. Burley around a presentation for the program discontinuation, which all the committee members in attendance voted unanimously to support.
Great, thank you so much, Trustee McDonald. Do I hear a motion to accept the Committee on Internal and External Relations meeting minutes of Monday, April 4th, 2022?
So
I
moved.
move to accept.
Monique, do I hear a second? I think that was you, Maurice, right?
Yes, second.
Discussion. Hearing none, Nanette, would you please call the roll to accept the Committee on Internal and External Relations meeting minutes of Monday, April 4th, 2022?
Kate Murin,
Yes.
Janae McDonald,
Yes.
Elizabeth Posito,
Yes.
Monique Seldom Riley,
Yes.
Maurice Lindsay,
Yes.
Tamalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Roldan,
Yes.
Jeff Sattler,
Yes.
and Max Starks.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. As part of the Committee on Internal and External Relations of April 4th, 2022, a couple of motions came out of that committee. And do I have someone who would like to read the motion of 2022-09?
I can read the motion.
Thank you.
The motion reads that the Springfield Technical Community College Board of Trustees approves discontinuation of the biomedical engineering technology program degrees, as well as biotechnology degree and certificate.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Discussion. Hearing none, Nanette, would you please take the roll to accept the Committee on Internal and External Relations motion of program discontinuation approval for biomedical technology and biotechnology?
Yes, Mary Kate Murin,
Yes.
Janae McDonald,
Yes.
Elizabeth Posito,
Yes.
Monique Seldom Riley,
Yes.
Maurice Lindsay,
Yes.
Samalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Roldan,
Yes.
Jeff Sattler,
Yes.
and Max Starks.
Yes.
Additionally, we also had a motion come out of Internal External Committee on tenure recommendations 2022-10. Can I ask you again, Trustee McDonald, to read that motion?
Sure. The motion reads that the Springfield Technical Community College Board of Trustees, pursuant to the provision of Section 22C, Chapter 15A, approves granting tenure as listed on Appendix A.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Betty. Discussion.
I'll just offer by way of context, everyone.
Please.
Again, we've got a wonderful engaged process where tenure ultimately lands in front of you for final approval. Per the contract with MCCC, there is first a peer group that is stood up that assesses each candidate. That body moves forward a recommendation. The dean of each individual or supervisor also then provides a recommendation. And then I have a chance to take all that and provide you all with a recommendation. So what you have in front carries multiple levels of support. I was very pleased to move this slate forward. And it did come with the unanimous support of internal external committee as well. So very pleased to share that process.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Cook. Hearing no additional comments or discussion, Nanette, would you please take the roll to accept the Committee on Internal External Relations subject motion tenure recommendations 2022-10?
Yes, Mary Kate Murin,
Yes.
Jenny McDonald,
Yes.
Elizabeth Esposito,
Yes.
Monique Seldom Riley,
Yes.
Maurice Lindsay,
Yes.
Samalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Roldan, Norm?
Norm, you're on mute.
Sorry about that. Yes.
Okay. Jeff Sattler, thank you.
yes,
And Max Starks,
Yes.
thank you.
The last motion, 2022-11, that came out of the Committee on Internal External of April 4th, 2022 is the AIA statement. Trustee McDonald, I know how important this is. If you'd like to read this one again, or I can, up to you.
Absolutely, I'll read it.
Absolutely.
So the motion reads that the Springfield Technical Community College Board of Trustees approves to adopt the framing statement as developed by the Anti-Racism and Inclusion Alliance. We, the Springfield Technical Community College Anti-Racism and Inclusion Alliance, aim to build on our identity as a people's college and the only career and technical community college leader in the state of Massachusetts to strive towards strengthening our commitment to the racial, cultural experiences within our community and institution. We honor this commitment at the national, state, and local and institutional levels. At the national level, we recognize systemic and institutionalized racism with a specific focus on higher education and the community college environment and the past, present, future racist policies, practices as being embedded in our society and function as an institution. We realize that inequitable policies and practices serve to perpetuate systemic oppression and fosters a variety of problematic challenges faced by our students, faculty, and staff, creating barriers to academic success and degree completion and impedes the progress of the college as a whole.
Thank you, Trustee McDonald. Do I hear a second?
Second, Madam Chair.
Discussion. Hearing none, Nanette, would you please call the roll to accept the Committee on Internal External Relations subject AIA Statement for Adoption 2022-11?
Yes, Mary Kate Murin,
Yes.
Jenny McDonald,
Yes.
Elizabeth Esposito,
Yes.
Monique Seldom Riley,
Yes.
Maurice Lindsay,
Yes.
Samalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Roldan,
Yes.
Jeff Sattler,
yes,
and Max Starks.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much. Trustee Starks, we're to you for the Committee on Ways and Means of April 11th, 2022.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair, and good evening, everyone. So we had a meeting focused on the normal review of the cash flow projection, then the fiscal year 2022 revenue and spending projection. Nothing out of the ordinary was noted or discussed. We then reviewed the second fiscal year 2023 budget draft, which showed a deficit of $380,874, a reduction of $849,000 from the first draft, primarily from reductions in full-time salary expense, chargebacks, and operational expenses. We also discussed the key budgeted enrollment assumption decline of -3% and whether a goal of -5% was more appropriate. And as Dr. Cook alluded to earlier in the call, the last draft, which we'll see next month, the final, I should say, which we'll see next month, will include a -5% reduction there. That's a key assumption in how we budget, because obviously it's the primary unknown to our revenues, which obviously has impacts to expenses and the like. So it's good to hear that came full circle from our last meeting, and we then adjourned the meeting.
Great. Thank you so much, Trustee Starks. Appreciate it. Do I hear a motion to accept the Committee on Ways and Means Committee Report minutes for April 11th, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
Perfect. Discussion, please. Hearing none, Nanette, would you please call the roll to accept the Committee on Ways and Means report of April 11th, 2022?
Yes, Mary Kate Murin,
Yes.
Janae McDonald,
Yes.
Elizabeth Esposito,
Yes.
Monique Selden Riley,
Abstain?
Maurice Lindsay,
Yes.
Samalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Roldan,
Yes.
Jeff Sattler,
Yes.
and Max Starks.
Yes.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Is there old business, trustees? Don't think we had something on our agenda. New business, Dr. Cook.
Yes, briefly. So we don't often talk about the college's radio station, WTCC, of course, very well known in our community, a component of the college proper. Just really pleased to share with the board that the FCC license has been renewed all the way through 2030. So again, just wanted to share some good news on that. We know it's a really important voice. Many on this Zoom call are very familiar with the radio station. Again, just wanted to share that news with the board.
More good news.
Yes, I was just going to say that.
You know, Powerball is 421. I think we all need to go and get our tickets.
You should.
30
You're
is
right.
the lucky number, 30.
That's right. Absolutely.
Or
You
35.
got that. I think T-shirts with that
Yeah.
on it.
It's 35. Let's keep thinking it's 35, right? And then we're not disappointed.
That's right.
So just from my report, I'll add something else here. It's that time of the year already. I can't believe that we're already at May, around the corner. And so we do, once again, have the presidential evaluation. As you recall, we did our 5-year last year as required by Department of Higher Education. We don't need to do that comprehensive. So in talking to Trustee McDonald, we really wanted to keep it from a board of trustee perspective and ask also solicitation of additional feedback. So we wanted to put something together. It's something that we need to work on very, very quickly. We have been requested to submit this by the end of June. So we'd like to get it going and get it completed right before all the good weather comes and we go on our hiatus, like so many of us do during the summer. So I'll be reaching out to trustees and reaching out to others in the community just to gather some high level feedback. So appreciate that. And, I think it's, every year required to do, every 5 years, we're required to do a comprehensive. I think maybe we talk about it, Dr. Cook, every other year, every 3 years, kind of put another touch point in there to make sure we are soliciting that feedback, of course, from the people you do impact daily. So more to come, everybody, on that. And then the last one is, I know that Nanette once again sent the email requesting trustee participation in a lot of the pinning ceremonies. I signed up for one that's very close to my heart because of my mom. I know you have, Betty. So just wanted to throw that back out there. If you do have time, right, please, if you can participate. And then if we get a little bit short, just make sure you send that list to me. I'll see if I can clear my calendar. And then also put graduation on everyone's calendar. Dr. Cook, what's that in top of my head? It's the 3rd, isn't it?
It's the second Thursday, June 2nd, everyone. Yep, 5 o'clock. And then the ceremony starts at 6 o'clock. Yep, down at the Mass Mutual Center.
Okay, I was off by one day. So just want to get that on everyone's calendar. Nanette, maybe just another reminder to push that email top of everyone's email. Comments, questions on those two topics?
We're gathering all the trustees. It's the routine that we did back 2 years.
We're going to do kind of that. Dr. Cook will give his high level assessment And then we'll put something together. We have to remember, right? If we put all the trustees again, it becomes an open meeting. So we'll have those conversations, Betty, a little bit further, just to set up that process. Awesome. Our date of our next board meeting is Monday, May 23rd. Can't believe it. Because right after that, then it's June. So do I hear a motion to conclude tonight's meeting of the Board of Trustees?
Madam Chair, I make motion to conclude the meeting of the trustees for STCC.
Thank you. Second, do I hear a second?
I'll second it with all the good news.
Appreciate all the good news.
Great. Nanette, would
Yes.
you please call the roll to close our meeting of tonight?
Kate Murin,
Yes.
Janae McDonald,
Yes.
Elizabeth Esposito,
Yes.
Monique Seldom Riley,
Yes.
Maurice Lindsay,
Yes.
Samalid Hogan, Bill Johnson, Norm Roldan,
Yes.
Jeff Sattler,
Yes.
and Max Starks.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Stay safe and go out and enjoy the weather.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
so much all.
Take care, everyone.